Well, there is growing skepticism from progressive Democrats in the Senate following broad cuts being made to that infrastructure plan we've been talking about. A new article from The Hill reports that liberal members of Congress fear that the package will be dramatically watered down. And Hanna, Trudo, senior political correspondent at The Hill, wrote this article. So really, we were talking with our Allison Harris. We know that Sinema is, again, wielding a lot more power than any Democrat right now. And again, this is going to take time, but we're running out of time. So what's at stake here?
Adrienne, there's so much at stake. And like you just mentioned, the sense of exasperation, that is so strongly held in progressive circles. And I would argue not just among members of Congress, but among grassroots activists who are really on the front lines of these issues across the country, rallying their base of supporters, everyday Americans, to really get behind the president's spending bill here. And I would say that the development with Joe Manchin, which broke just over the weekend, that is an extremely big development, at least for progressive circles. I can imagine that we're going to expect to see some ears perk up among the progressive left because, like you mentioned, Joe Manchin has been one of the most notable holdouts on this bill, in particular on so many different provisions that are included in it. And his willingness to potentially levy a tax on billionaires is music to progressives' ears. This is something that they've been calling for years and years and years. So Kristen Sinema, senator from Arizona, is of course the next eyeballs to turn on. But for now, I think progressives can take a little bit of solace in knowing that Joe Manchin said that this weekend.
Well, we've got the billionaires being taxed and certain corporations being taxed, but we also have programs that are on the chopping block that progressives were actually depending on. So what exactly do they stand to lose?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. And what I would say about that is that the Congressional Progressive Caucus has been saying, we don't have a red line on a number figure, on a dollar amount for the spending package. It's now looking closer to 1.7 to $2 trillion. But progressives are adamant that they must have things like climate change provisions in the bill, universal pre-K, a child tax credit. I mean, these are things that they had pushed for months and months and months. And this is the now, millionth iteration of these talks. And so Pramila Jayapal, the leader of the Congressional Caucus among progressives, has said, we're not as worried about what the actual dollar number is, but we're very worried about having some of these programs cut or diminished so drastically that they no longer look relevant, essentially, to the public. So it's a matter of scope, how long some of these proposals will be in effect for. It is being drastically cut in the negotiations.
We'll just